Alright. Alright, yo, what's up, everyone? It's Shooting Game Weekly, episode 151. This week we're covering Fighter and Attacker, also known as F/A in Japan.
Yep.
And this is a 1992 Namco shmup, vertical, and we're taking a look at 1cc and some strategies in this game, and just talking about the game in general and its legacy, and some stuff like that, because Maximo, who's co-hosting me on the episode, is gonna help talk to us about that and help us understand why this game is awesome.
Indeed.
Because it is awesome, isn't it?
It is. Oh man. There's a lot of cool aspects about this game, just like the aggressiveness that you usually have to throw out in order to it's basically like defeating your enemies before they can trap you. Kind of like that cat and mouse game. Design for ships is like super cool as well. Music is awesome.
Nice.
And also it's just very straightforward. Like, there are no power-ups in this game. Like, what you start with is what you got.
Yeah, that's kind of different, isn't it? I mean, I like that simplicity there.
Yeah, like,
so you don't have to worry about that.
They're trying to go for like realism, as they say, where, I mean, in a real like dogfight like that, you wouldn't be relying on like additional power-ups for that. So kind of makes sense they went behind it, but at the same time, I feel that some people would kind of get turned off by that aspect, because it's like, oh, well, since my power doesn't increase, sometimes that might leave me underpowered for situations where I'm not prepared.
Well, then it's like you don't have to worry about like having to like recover and stuff, do you? I mean, because
you don't.
I mean, the game has a health system, right? So
yeah, so
you're not respawning and whatnot. You're just taking damage and continuing on. So why don't you talk a bit about just some of the basic mechanics and
so
how this game functions?
Basically, this game is kind of like a lot of other vertical Namco shmups, where you have a primary shot, which destroys primary shot targets, which is mostly like helicopters, small planes coming out, as well as most bigger boss enemies. And then you also have a secondary shot, which will mostly go after like ground-based targets, ground turrets.
Yeah, classic Xevious style, pretty much.
Yeah.
The Namco trademark.
Indeed. The thing that changes up in this game, though, is that there are multiple aspects of these primary backward shots, because there are 16 different airplane types in this game, and some of them have different characteristics. For primary shot types, there are 6 different types in total. We have the first one, which is 6-way, where your ship will basically fire 6. It's kind of like a 6-way spread that you can point blank for huge amounts of damage, especially on boss enemies. Then you have the 5-way shot, where it's about 4 rounds of bullets find like kind of a circular pattern, which it's similar to semi-auto, but it's more powerful than that shot pattern. Then you have straight, which is just 4 rounds of bullet that are just fired to the front, and that's also very powerful. Then you have semi-auto, where it's like you have 2 shots in the middle that go straight, and the rest just kind of spread outwards, and that's when shot power starts to kind of go down. Then after that, you have auto, which is just 2 shots at kind of a semi-automatic speed, but the power is just really low, and it has really low shot width. And then finally, you have full auto, which is somehow got even less power than the previous shot, and for whatever reason, like, I don't know if it's just an internal programming or just they had it set to a certain rate, but that's the only shot type that doesn't really seem to benefit from implementing auto fire.
You're talking about like all these different shot types, but like that's not like 16 different shot types. There's 16 different ships.
Yeah, 16.
Is that what it is? And then there's different combinations of your aerial and then your ground.
Yes,
your ground shot type. That's how it works.
Yep, exactly. Like,
that's pretty nuts. Like, to me, that just tells me that like they really refined the gameplay in a certain way to let you experiment with all the different like variations Is it meaningful enough that it's actually cool, or is it just like too much?
Well, okay, for some ships it actually works well. Like for the beginner ship, the J37, like it's got a 6-ways primary shot and it has like a full secondary shot, which I think due to the way that the ship was also designed as well, it makes it pretty straightforward for the most part deal with most enemy situations. The problem though I feel with the 16 like different plane types is that sometimes you're going to get instances where you might be underpowered in one area, like your secondary shot may not have the width to cover, I guess, certain targets when you need them to. And then on top of it, you also have to realize that some of these ships have varying sizes of hitboxes. And some of the ships, like the F-16 AF5, for example, have like pretty small hitboxes, even though they're still kind of big for that era. Whereas there's other ships like the F-14D, which are just massive, like rectangles that provide to be like a huge problem, especially in later stages for just evading like patterns that you just need to get out of the way.
So like when you're playing with the different ships, can you actually tell that the hitboxes are different sizes, or are you just kind of like getting a feel for it? Like you usually
actually didn't realize this until I was doing a run with F-14D like the other day. Like I thought like all the planes would have like the same hitbox, but then with this F-14D ship, I managed to get a run all the way to like stage 8, and that is trying my usual strats, which is you basically have to eliminate mid-sized planes and squeeze through diagonals. But for whatever reason, like the diagonal I usually go through, like the gap just didn't open. I just got hit. I was like, what is this madness?
So you started to realize that.
Yeah, and I looked into it more, and I was like,
and
some of these ships kind of had similar fat hitboxes to that F-14D, whereas there are other ones that since their main body was smaller, that meant that their actual hitbox was smaller as well.
Man, that's like, I feel like that's kind of like in depth for a shmup when they have all the different hitbox sizes, but like it kind of makes me think of like the Riding Fighters series, how you can play as like the fairy and the meekless and the slave, and obviously like they have like tiny hitboxes, but like in general like all the other ships had like the regular ones, so that was like pretty obvious. But here it's like you actually have to play the game and start to like take deaths, and then you're like, oh well, okay, there's actually a different, differences between these ships and stuff, and I like that. So when you were kind of getting into this game, were you just kind of experimenting with a bunch of different ships then, and then getting a feel for it?
I mean, really how I got into it was that I was in some other server with a few friends, and we were just all joking about like, man, this game is like stupid and shit. Let's see how far we can get it in, and then like complain. But after they did their runs, I was just like, okay, since these two ship types aren't working, just like the FA-18E semi-auto shot type, as well as some other ship, I basically decided like, since most people say like the J37 is like easiest to use based on what I saw in other reviews, I basically stuck with that. It's a general strategy. Even though I picked the easiest ship, I think, to clear the game, it still took a while for me to get a lot of aspects down because, oh man, enemy behavior is just... some of those enemies, just like if you don't destroy them, they just keep shooting and shooting forever, and it just really gets in your way. And then on top of that, you've also got to deal with... there's certain ways you have to destroy like boss configurations that aren't very apparent up front. Basically, all in all, I think I invested like a couple months or so into this game before I got my first clear back in July 2017 with the same ship. But I ended up not playing it for like several months after that because, I don't know, just felt a little tired. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to really improve on this. And then about a month ago, I was like, I might as well nerf it again, just try to see if it can get better. And then surprisingly, I was able to de-rust a lot of the strategies I picked up in my original playthrough, and then you can actually apply those to some other ships as I've just recently started to come across.
I see. What kind of shmup like would you like compare this one to? Like, well, what's kind of like this game to you? Do you have does anything come to mind?
like,
because I don't know. It seems like it's kind of on the. It's kind of like got its own thing going on to me.
I mean, if anything's as close to us, it's probably like maybe ZBS arrangement, but at the same time, like, you don't have that variety of types in that game. Like, it's you just got your one ship. Mm-hmm. Because the thing too is, like, all the other like Namco vertical STGs I play, it's like either they're like got something that makes them unique, like Metal Hawk with its multi-directional scrolling, just adjusting of altitude, Salt's multi-directional adjusting, or in the case of like Dragon Spear and Dragon Saber, you have like a variety of different power-ups.
Right. So it's pretty Namco-y, like, in general, I guess.
I think it's like just it's more just like very straightforward, like military shooter.
Yeah, so like what about like the people that you're saving in the stages? How does that play into the game, and do you need to save them to get extends and that type of thing?
Okay, so the way extends work is that you're gonna actually get them very early on if you're playing decently. Like, every time I beat mission 1, I always get armor piece at the 120,000, and my last armor piece you get 360,000 points, which if you're playing like all right, you'll get that by stage 3 and have like a maxed out armor bar by the time you get to that boss, at least.
Okay. And how I just saw a stage clear here, and they count up the prisoners like 2,000 points each.
Yeah, so each prisoner is 2,000 points. You basically get them by unearthing, or you destroy a ground target and there will be a prisoner there. Now, I've also noticed that on some stages it's predetermined, like certain types of ground targets will just always give a prisoner, whereas in some other instances it's like depending on the amount of ground targets you destroyed, will a prisoner come out. And in essence, you do want to get as many prisoners as you can because it adds up over time to your stage total. Nice. So, for example, like in the first stage, you can get like 50,000 extra points just from prisoners alone. Stage 3, you can get like almost 100,000 for prisoners.
Seems like there's usually something to keep you busy on each screen and whatnot with the prisoners and just the things you have to deal with. So it seems pretty nice, honestly, and looks pretty good too.
It does. Like, the color design really helps with bullet visibility. Like, I really don't think it's too much of an issue, just like learning how to see the bullets. But what may trip people up is like the way to dodge, because for whatever reason in this game, it's like it's kind of a weird system where if you're trying to like dodge just like by going left to right normally, you're going to get hit a lot of the time. You're going to be like, what the hell? I should be able to squeeze through that. But what helps in this instance is mastering like diagonal maneuvers. So that can either be micro or macro dodging. Using your diagonal patterns, I think, does help a little bit with like the leniency of the hitbox as well. Which is why you'll see like some of these situations, I might go slightly whatever to like top right or top left, because not only will that help with like dodging, but it might also be very beneficial to setting up like my positioning for a later point in the stage.
I see.
You'll get to see a bit more of that as we go through these replays.
Okay, I kind of want to ask you about like the cult status of the game in Japan. Do you think we should talk about that now, or maybe after we watch a replay? I wouldn't mind talking about it now, but
I can talk about it now if you want.
Sure. So you did mention to me before we went live that this game has a bit of a cult status in Japan, and you know, there's a bit of a kind of interesting history with the soundtrack of the game in particular, and kind of when it came out in the climate of arcades when Street Fighter 2 was wrecking everything and whatnot. So if you'd like to elaborate on some of that stuff, feel free.
I should. So basically in Japan at this point, like when this game was like initially being designed, the Namco president at the time basically told a sound team to make a soundtrack that doesn't sound like other games at that time and more influenced by like popular music. So in this case, it's like a techno soundtrack. And as a result of that, that's why, in comparison to other Namco STGs of that time, Shinji Azoe and Takayuki Ahara created a very aggressive techno soundtrack that surprisingly managed to get a lot of people on board, that they actually created like a non-stock remix album after the fact of the original game OST release, as well as like a standalone album that basically had the game music but also additional tracks that they created using similar sound hardware. As a result of that, I think a lot of people really liked the music at the time, and it's also the reason why Namco carried a lot of this music philosophy forward towards other games of that period, such as Cyber Sled, the Ridge Racer series, Tekken, and then Ace Striker Victory Lap.
I can definitely hear the similarity in that techno style to those games you mentioned. Like, that's actually pretty huge, because I feel like with Ridge Racer and Tekken especially, people are really fond of those soundtracks.
It does. It's like, gets you in the mood.
Which really was like a big part of the success of those games, I think, too. Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I should mention, too, is that there are people, like, when I say that there's like a cult status in Japan for like this game, that's directly related to seeing like people talk about it, like fondly in like a number of reviews. It apparently placed pretty high up in a recent poll for games that people will want like ported to consoles for like shot triggers at like number 20 or something on the list.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. So yeah, no port of the game, sadly.
Yeah, this is a arcade only version. And it's probably more common in Japan than it is the US, because basically what happened at the time that this game got released in the US is that Street Fighter 2 Mania was just everywhere, so no STG game could basically survive from that onslaught. And to top it off, I'm not 100% certain on this, but I think at the time that they were doing their American strategies, Namco America was like more interested in not only acquiring like huge game centers from other arcade or big arcades like Aladdin's out there, but we're also more interested in promoting their big ass like 3D theater set pieces like Galaxian, Cubed.
Oh man, I almost forgot about that stuff.
Yeah, so
we want to explain what that is exactly. Just
oh sure. So
don't know.
Basically, at the time that they had these 2D games, Namco also had like a bunch of investment in 3D systems. So they had their System 21, which powered a lot of games at that time, including like Air Combat, Salavu, and then they also had these ridiculous like setups where for like Galaxian Cubed, it's basically like an interactive game with a light gun where you have multiple like arcade boards just stacked together. You can play with like 6 to 8 people at a time.
Yeah.
And just in general, it's like got the centers like surrounding this, like not only they cost a ton of money, but they're just like decked out with like all the sound hardware, immersive experience to draw people in. And that's
that was like a huge attraction,
basically,
right?
And in addition, they were promoting that so heavily that all their other 2D stuff at the time basically just got ignored as a result, because they thought that's what the American market wants. They want these like 3D like CG type of games. So stuff like Fighter and Attacker / FA, even though it did get an official like marketing poster for arcade, I really don't think it made much of a splash here, especially as people probably do get confused when they see this ship select screen. They're like, I don't know which ship to pick. And then they see the full auto ship, like, oh yeah, full auto, I'm going to go with that, not realizing that's probably the worst ship to be playing as a beginner.
I see. It could be overwhelming, for sure. Or something like that.
Oh, it definitely is. Like, man, there's some situations when you have to deal with helicopter enemies that they're simple with like the spread shots, but when you deal with like this low shot width, then it just becomes a pain in the ass and just having to shoot precisely, or otherwise you're gonna get hit.
I see. Okay, that's some pretty interesting stuff about the game. So now we know a little bit more about the history and stuff, and I think we can get into watching an actual replay here.
Sure.
So we're gonna look first at the F-16AFI 1.5 million all.
I think the J37 one is a better one to start with.
Oh, my bad. I was just looking at that one.
No worries.
Gotcha. So yeah,
the
the
link?
JA37. No, I got it.
Okay. Let me just pull it up on my end.
So this is going to be a one credit clear. The game has one loop, correct?
Yes, it's one loop, which I find to be a pretty nice feature in most Namco shmups. Never with like the 2-loop stuff, except for like Xevious, which is just infinitely looping.
Yeah. And then you're playing on the US version, which you mentioned in the description. There's really no differences as far as you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You also play on the US version?
Yeah, because as far as I can tell, there aren't any differences gameplay-wise between the US version and the Japanese version.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get the replay started. It is a 35-minute run, so we'll be sitting back for a bit here and getting into it and talking about the ship type, I guess, and what have you. So, all right, I shall do the countdown. 3,
Sure.
2, 1, go. I like the logo quite a bit, and yeah, the voice clip there.
Oh man, yeah, it's great. You just thrown right into the action. Starting around 1, where we're basically entering the outskirts of a harbor city. This is just to basically get you familiar with like how the game works, so that you can just mess around with like your secondary and primary shots. Since these like plane targets won't even fire at you initially, they'll just kind of go their own way.
So we were just listening to the remix album, but now that we're listening to the in-game music, I'm surprised it actually does have some kind of oomph to it.
It does.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I do really like it. It's very fitting for the action. The only problem I could see is that's like every time, since these stages are like not exactly the shortest, you'll usually end up hearing the track loop at least like once or twice before the end, since there's no actual like boss music.
Ah, yeah.
So back there was a section where a bunch of missiles are coming down. I basically just go left and right to just get as many as I possibly can, but it might be a better way to do that. Now that you enter this harbor city, I basically just try to stay up top of the screen, just to get rid of as many of these tanks as possible before they become an issue.
So why do you use the JA37? I'm not sure if you elaborated on this earlier.
Okay. The reason I use the JA37 is because it's got the best primary shot. Its secondary shot, the Vulcan, I find is very straightforward to use and extremely useful for prisoner rooting. In addition to this, its hitbox is pretty easy to figure out once you mess around with it a little bit. And it's not that big either.
Do the ships also have different speeds as well?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that there are different speed properties which it'll notate at the ship selection screen. So
gotcha.
There's like one ship I think that's part of the straight type called the GRM5. That one has like the fastest speed out of all the ships, whereas most of the other ones are like either almost maxed out or like 2 notches below maxed out. I think the one I'm using, it's like 6 out of 7 in like speed category. So it's like almost maxed out.
See, it seems like speed is a good asset, would probably be a good asset in this game.
Oh, I definitely agree, because there are parts where it's like you need to individually destroy targets one by one. So being able to get over to your next position is very important in that case. Man, I can't tell you how many times I've had where it's just if you're out of position even slightly, things can just snowball. Because other thing too is that your invulnerability time is like almost next to none. It's probably like half a second or something before you can get hit again.
I see. yeah, just to clarify, that red shot is the ground attack.
Yep, that's the secondary shot.
Yeah, just to clarify, that's not like another aerial attack, even though it kind of looks like it.
Yeah. No, that's the secondary shot. Using it to destroy these turrets on this first boss, nicknamed Giant Freezer, which is a misspelling of Freighter.
Freezer?
Yeah, that's what it's officially called. There's all these different parts you can destroy on the ship. Like that thing on the right is the main boss part, which you need to destroy the thing entirely, but you can actually wait for it a bit if you want to get some extra points by destroying some of these parts up here. I don't go for it all the time because I've been pretty unlucky getting hit on the top. But all that stuff up until like near the bow of the ship, you can basically destroy, assuming you have like, it's probably easiest to do on the AUMAX searching missiles, like secondary weapon if you have it for your ship. Otherwise, don't worry too much about destroying every single part. You just don't want to take damage on this first stage at all.
Right.
Now on the second stage right here, your secondary shot is disabled and you only have your primary shot to work with.
You're flying like way high up now, so that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's cool. I like that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully these type of stages don't overstay their welcome. They're not too
Like
long.
it's like it just adds slightly to the immersion of the game. But what if it was like Pilot Wings and like way down there, those snipers from the helicopter mission? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh man. That would just
And they're like just taking shots at you throughout the whole stage.
taking pot shots the whole time. Assholes.
That's what it made me think of. Except, well, I mean, you can fly low on the helicopter stage, but it's like you fly high up and like you see the bulls from like a mile away.
Yeah, it's like the same feel as like Mohawk, where it's like the bullets are just adjusting at altitude and going upwards.
Oh man.
So that game actually has that. You can get
Okay, yeah. So now the people are parachuting out of the planes now and you're saving them.
Yeah. You're taking them hostage.
Okay, so that's not like a prisoner inside the plane. You're taking hostages.
Well,
or is it actually?
That's what I
prison?
surmised because it seems weird that you would have like your big ass plane that's just like, oh, but this guy's parachuting out. Why would you give a prisoner like a parachute unless they're like super important?
It's pretty thoughtful, but you don't get those guys for the popcorn. So it's like you're killing all the popcorn people, but you're saving the big ship guy.
I don't know.
I guess he's like, because the big ship guy is like a general, he's like more important.
These are all questions that keep me up at night.
Relax.
That last boss back there was also nicknamed Killer Boeing.
Killer Boeing, nice. Watch out for the Killer Boeing.
Indeed.
No one suspects the Boeing to fight.
Boeing was the enemy all along. Okay, so this stage is actually where first difficulty spike happens. As you'll see, probably after this section. But this first part isn't too bad. You're just killing these helicopters' quarters, so you can destroy these ships right here. And then go from left to right here to get... You kind of go left from right here to get some easy prisoner pickups in this part. That's the last extend I'll get right there. Cool.
God, the music is really reminding me of Ryan Fighters, actually, since I mentioned that earlier.
Nice.
That just like manic techno.
Oh yeah, this is it right here. So now you got these like helicopter dudes they come out from the sides, and if you're just kind of doing your own thing, you're gonna like collide with them because they just love to drift lazily across the screen, just constantly shooting at you.
One of those things where you don't want to be hugging the side of the screen.
Yeah, or being high up on the screen too.
They come in pretty quick too.
Yeah. Like I just keep a countdown in my head, like how many times they'll appear each section.
Kind of liking this stage background.
Yeah, it really makes it stand out, I think. Like just the contrast hues between like the city and then you enter the desert. It's got like multiple shades and it has like kind of a sandstone pattern on the ground. If like the little indents for like the rocks that like form these paths. Really good attention to detail.
It is really detailed. Like that. And also the sound effects are pretty nice too.
Indeed. Yeah, they're like all just nice explosions. Oh, and here I should also mention too that you gotta follow a route for this section because once again, like those green turrets on the side, they fire like 45-degree angles, so it's basically a matter of manipulating like their movement pattern while making sure to hit the ground takes to form a clear path. And hopefully collecting prisoners at the same time, but haven't been able to always be consistent at getting that extra 1 or 2 prisoners. Usually get like around 86 to 90,000.
For the prisoner bonus?
Yeah, on this stage. And now...
Can you collide with this boss if you don't destroy those parts?
Yes, you can. You can actually take damage if you don't destroy it, like...
Dude, nice. The bullet holes and whatnot. That's pretty good.
Yeah. But this boss's name is Devil Airbus.
Damn. And the smoke and flames and stuff is really cool looking as well.
Yeah,
that stands out.
It does, and you just get to see that the whole time. Because you basically want to keep this boss alive so that because these like twin firing tanks come out, you can get a few prisoners from those.
Oh.
So it's worth keeping one of the engines of the boss alive just for this.
Neat. So yeah, there's like some boss milking.
Yeah, a little bit. Because basically once you go after this, the boss will just come down, and then if you don't destroy it, it actually just flies away. Bosses will time out in this game, and if you don't defeat them, like you still get your prisoner bonus, but when it comes to end game bonus, where it's asking you like mission completed, you don't get like a 10,000 point bonus for destroying the boss, as well as any actual damage for destroying the boss during the mission.
Wait, sorry, say that again. I didn't follow that.
So if you don't bosses can time out in this game. Like if you don't destroy all of their parts, this works twofold, where you not only won't get boss destruction points for that stage, but there's an end game bonus where you'll lose out on 10,000 points because you didn't complete your mission technically.
Oh, okay, I see. Gotcha. Sorry. Oh man, little baby choppers and then like the daddy chopper.
Yeah. Oh man, these guys are coming everywhere on the stage. Like those 2 helicopters back there, you basically have to get as close to them as possible so that you get the little Zaka helicopters to misdirect their shots.
Oh, okay.
So otherwise, they'll just fire directly like right at you. And you'll probably be cramped for space.
Bullets are kind of slow, so I could definitely see like the bullets kind of trapping you if you're not careful. You're making it look pretty easy, but I assume it can go wrong pretty easily.
It definitely can, because depending on like the type of enemy or like what stage it is, like it just gets faster like over time. The thing too is like it's not even they just fire one or two, it's like they just fire a bunch at a time.
Yeah, we just saw like kind of like a mini wall there and there.
Yeah, like look at that. You basically, that's the only way you can really destroy those guys, because otherwise they just keep spinning it out.
Ah, okay.
Whereas for ground tanks, it's not so bad, because it's like they have at least some of the recharge time before each shot.
Is there a bullet ceiling for the ground enemies or air enemies going on when you're close enough and then they don't fire?
It's really inconsistent, this game. I'll tell you that. Like, sometimes, like, if an enemy's already passed, like, I've had some success with that, but then there's also been other times where it's just the dude will just fire anyway. Like,
I hate it when it's inconsistent, because then you're always paranoid.
like my ground rule, I think I found is that like if the tank is in front of you and you're in close distance, you're gonna get hit. If it's taking time to like turn its wheel around, it probably won't have enough time to fire you before you leave the vicinity, because you can also manipulate the screen space to like put it off screen.
Right, and then like the enemies won't fire off screen then? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay. Raiden style. Well, it's pretty much like most shmups.
This part here is a little dicey.
Oh man.
You basically want to destroy all those tanks. Well, it's like you first damage the tank segment on the right, then you come back down, destroy the ones on the left, and then come back to the right. Hopefully there won't be too many.
Well, that turret's having a heyday.
Oh man. Yeah, I just barely missed destroying it, because for whatever reason, my Vulcan just wouldn't take it out completely. But it squeezed through it good enough. And then those other two turrets are very easy to take out on the top right. And you don't have to put yourself in danger of taking out the ones in the middle.
It's surprising how much HP some of these enemies have. Like,
yeah, that's kind of why I decided to use auto fire, because, oh man, trying to do this with like just not auto fire, sometimes things just do not want to die, and then you end up taking damage anyways.
I see. You'd recommend auto fire, setting that up?
Oh, definitely. Like, it just makes managing like enemies so much easier, because if even the Sako enemies take like multiple hits, then you might as well.
Right.
I should also explain that boss back there with the power base. That is one of the bosses where it's really easy to do with a spread shot, but with other shot types, it becomes very, very annoying to destroy, because for whatever reason, they thought it was a good idea to have these heavily armored parts on the outside, and then the middle part is like the only vulnerable part. With you basically have to hit it once it's destroyed, so your spread power can easily sneak in and get that hit in the middle, but the ones that just your shot type is just straightforward, you basically have to like deal with like huge HP on the outer edges and hope you get lucky enough to be able to squeeze a shot in there.
Nice dudes.
This is one of my favorite tracks of the game. Beat resistance.
Okay, nice. Heavily HP choppers. Rah.
Oh man. There I got scared because the popcorn just did not want to die.
Oh nice, you're shooting off their little weapons.
Yeah. If you basically, I mess around with the stick at my point, because if you hit, the more you hit the left or the right, it'll destroy their guns. So basically, it'll just be completely unable to do anything. Let's see.
Oh yeah, then you mentioned the game takes place through 24 hours, so actually seeing it like get darker during this stage, it's pretty neat.
This is the stage where it's most apparent, because it's like late afternoon. The sun's going down. Because this whole game takes place over a 24-hour period. So like in the next stage, for example, you're going to be in a nighttime environment.
That was a pretty cool thing there. It's still getting darker, it seems, a little bit.
Yeah, I think it'll do it like once more before the stage ends. This part here is also kind of tricky because you need to make sure you don't get boxed in by these ground turrets and the canyon walls.
Oh shit.
Oof, didn't destroy that one on the left. No matter. I usually go up there so that I don't get boxed in.
Just kill those immediately.
Well, it's like that formation back there, I killed that first. Then I go top right to destroy that first turret wall, hit the aircraft. Then I hit the other turret wall, get a little bit of the ground section there, then go back up to the right to destroy the rest of those tanks, whatever.
Yes, this looks like you need to be on top of things here.
No, this stage, basically teaches you that if you want to be passive, you're gonna just be screwed. Unless you're just crazy dodges, which, as a lot of people say, the less you can do that, the better.
Yeah.
Now we're out of the tricky section. Mostly it's just you kill these little bases right here, these outposts. They're kind of like bunkers, I think. Got mini train section right here. These guys can't really do much.
How do you feel about that screen flash that happens?
Wait,
when you destroy some enemies? Like the whole screen flashes when you kill some of the enemies.
It doesn't really bother me too much, but if someone's more sensitive to it, then I could see how that might be a bit of an issue.
Yeah. It happens for one frame, it seems.
Yeah, if it were additional frames, then that would definitely be distracting.
That satisfying ting of the prisoners.
Oh yeah, I love that. This is the tick up.
So you have the prisoners there, but then you have the other guys. Who are they?
They're also classified as prisoners. They're classified as prisoners as well, but I'm guessing if there are other prisoners CEOs, then that's why they have
VIP.
The VIP or something.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's pretty good.
They're same point value as the other guys.
Yeah.
It's kind of a catch-all.
Alright, night stage, nice. It's looking like some good night water.
Yeah. Water in this game is pretty good too.
I noticed that, yeah. Oh shit, copter barrage.
Yep. Gonna have to deal with that on the next stage too.
Guys flying in, stopping, and shooting at you.
Oh man, and then this part you have to be careful how you set up because very easy to get trapped with these twin firing tanks and then the helicopter formations at the side. So you can see I'm kind of misdirecting them so that I can give myself some breathing room and then swoop in when they have to.
Yeah. I'm liking these swoop-ins. Swoop-ins.
We in there.
Swoop ends. And techno intensifies.
Oh yeah. Just try these two boats, and then this part is a little dicey. So you got these little guys that come in, and all of a sudden another helicopter barrage.
Whoa! All right,
that looks so close.
That was one of the more craziest dodges you did so far. And you haven't been hit yet.
Nope.
Pretty good.
This game rewards memorization. That's all I can say. So yeah, the first half of the stage is probably the hardest to at least pay attention or just go unscathed doing damage with, but a little bit after this section, then it basically is just a cakewalk up to the boss. So you make sure that you destroy these aircraft in a way that leaves your path open. Then you have two formations, helicopters swoop in, then remember these guys come from the top. You can usually destroy 2 before you're going to be forced back. You can sometimes get a prisoner from those as well.
Damn, it's heating up.
It's a little mid-boss sub.
Ooh, nice explosion there.
Oh man, I took that a little too close, but okay. Let's see, then you have 2 guys pop up from the side. Then you just have this formation again.
Would you say that the backgrounds help you remember like what to do next and whatnot?
Yeah.
Or how do you remember?
So usually the way I remember is it's a combination of like visual cues and because sometimes like, well, actually, if you don't die, you could also use audio cues as well, like to help with some sections.
Like a certain part of the music starts happening.
Yeah.
Like back there, though, is that kind of like chirping sound in the music.
I think earlier on that stage when like those first twin firing tanks appear, there's like a certain musical cue when it switches sections that I just know like when to go. That's just one example.
Matt the Sprat said the music is from X Day 2. What's X Day 2, Matt the Sprat?
X Day 2 is this like I don't even know how to describe that game. It's weird. It's like got love simulation and stuff. Like it's testing for like compatibility. But the reason he probably mentions this is because it uses the same hardware as this game. Shinji Asoe did work on it along with Ayako Saso of Rolling Thunder 2 fame.
Oh, okay, sweet.
And it's got a very techno-oriented soundtrack too.
Huh. Which came first? This one or that game?
This one came first. This is 92. Yeah. X Day 2 was 1995.
Okay, wow. Well, nice. The tribute then. Alright, snow stage time.
Yep, this is I call it the Antarctic stage.
Okay. Damn it. Getting crazy.
Yeah, these dudes coming from the sides. They just spew out bullets like nobody's business. If you're actually positioned well enough, you can actually just destroy them all as they're coming in. So this stage in particular like is very rewarding of good positioning, whether it is for the first ground turret section back there or these upcoming like 4-shot turrets up here.
Was that a hole in the mountain back there? Is that where the Shadowloo base entrance is?
It's probably like multi-tiered if I think about it. Like that would make more sense. Because like up here you got like this whole military base like outline.
It's pretty cool how the stages are connected theme-wise. I'm kinda liking that.
Some of the stages almost seem like they could just flow seamlessly, but they're just momentarily broken up by like that prisoner count that has like the mini stutter. So it goes to the next stage. Okay, here you have to be very careful because, oh man, you got these 2 dudes in close proximity.
Whoa! Oh, around the world, baby.
Had to do that because he didn't want to go down. Like, probably just needed a couple more shots to get rid of him, but no dice.
The emergency fly to the top of the screen maneuver. A classic. Nowhere else to go, better go up.
I've seen that
That's when you know you're getting screwed.
I've seen the same thing happen when watching like Mikado runs in this game. There's like another turret formation you're gonna see like further up ahead where basically the guy had to do the same thing with both of them activate at the same time, and I was like, no way he actually got through it without taking damage.
Oh, you got 1 million points. I don't know why I keep referencing that today. Those trees with the snow on them, man, godlike.
Hell yeah.
almost as good as graphics as Google Maps.
Man, what if they had done that? Like that one game.
I think I might know what you're talking about. I don't know.
It's the Pink Sweets one that just got announced the other day, where they like took screenshots of Venice.
Oh yeah. I think there's like another shmup out there that just straight up uses satellite photos though.
And Escaluda like have part of that for like that stage 1.
Oh shit, those have so much HP.
Yeah. Oh man,
God
it's
damn,
so
you
easy
just,
to
like,
get hit there, like, because the destructible missiles, like, they just come out so fast that when you're dealing with like a low shot, what if you just want to avoid those altogether? So now moving on these bosses. Last stage we had Satan Midway, the submarine. Now we got the Harrier family.
The maroon copter.
Yeah.
They fear the maroon.
Painted red. All the enemies he's destroyed. Or something.
He's pissed. Like he heard about like maybe like 12 or 16 hours ago. He heard about you know, you're coming in, so they did a quick paint job.
Looks good.
It does look pretty sinister. Oh shit, it's taking so much hits.
It does have a lot of HP. And what I've seen a lot of players do is that they milk these helicopters that come in from the sides for about 12,000 points. But unfortunately, you can't do it long because when it times out, it literally just runs away.
Okay.
Up the screen.
It's blinking. Oh, that was the boss. Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, and those two like blue helicopter components on its sides, that was also part of the boss. Basically, you take those turrets down the order that I showed, and you basically point blank the blue helicopters to get them out of the way.
Nice.
Last stage, no secondary shot again.
Okay, cool.
This stage will just tell you need to know your diagonals.
So is that because like you move at like a different speed when you move diagonally, or
It could just be.
was it? Was it?
It's not. I don't know if it's speed, but it might just be like the way the hitbox collision is. Just might be a little more, more going diagonal. That's my best guess.
Oh, okay.
Because
Oh shit!
there you go.
The gauntlet.
Yeah. Get a brief reprieve, and then it's like another gauntlet of medium-sized planes on top of it. Just keep coming down from the top of the screen.
I really like this background. It's good shit.
Oh man, yeah, so great.
I'm liking everything I'm seeing right now. Everything.
Then all these guys just zoom past you. For the most part,
Oh shit!
it's just weaving in between them. You can't destroy them.
Whoa!
Then they're just colliding into each other here for whatever reason.
Is that what that sound effect is?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
They're just like crashing.
Red alert. Got
Man, that must have been like a last resort.
Yeah, I
the
got
enemy.
this super plane here. He's like, this part here's a little
Oh,
dicey
man.
to get in. There's like an
That's
opening.
satisfying point blank.
So I accidentally moved
Shit.
too
Oh,
early.
the first hit.
I take 2 hits on this boss.
Spoilers.
Hey, you heard it here first.
Oh, there's the other one. Man, yeah.
It's just hard because like you have to be careful of like the way you're manipulating his spreads. Otherwise, it
I
just
see.
overlaps and you basically will be forced to take a hit. Like when I was watching Hercules, like J37 replay, he had the same issue with this final boss.
Alright, so that's the end.
That is the end of the game. And now the game will calculate how many missions you completed and give you a bonus of 80,000 first. And then it gives you a life armor bonus, which goes all the way up to 500,000. This one set 3 armor pieces left. That's 300,000 points, breaking 1.7 million.
Pretty big bonus
Yeah.
for the armor. Nice.
Indeed. This final boss's name is also King Concorde.
King Concorde.
but it's actually based off a Russian aircraft design named like the Tu-160.
So if you let any of the, so the mission completed, like the condition for that is nice. Thanks with the X for your play. It's like a new one.
Oh man, yeah.
So those missions, the condition is just destroy the boss, right?
Yeah,
So you
basically.
get the complete. You don't have to do anything else.
Nope. It's just destroying the boss.
I see. And then you get, yeah, a bonus for that. Got you. Like you were saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Yeah, good run. I like that.
Thanks. I'll probably come back to the ship at some point and improve it.
Seems like a bit of a long haul with about a 33-minute run there.
Yeah, it's just, oh, man, the biggest problem you have sometimes in doing these runs is like just keeping your attention focused, because the last stage is, it's very easy to get distracted and then things will just snowball. Like that's probably been the biggest problem so far when it comes to these runs, just like getting fatigued on like those last couple of stages and then making silly mistakes.
I see. I'm pausing it on the ship select screen because we didn't really look at that before.
Sure.
I'm at like 3422.
3422.
Yeah, on the video we just watched.
Yeah, one sec. Okay.
So I see a 6-way, and then there's 3 different ships for that, and 3 different ones for 5-wave. Oh, okay, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, the only one that
it's like a list. It's not like just like straight up pictures of the different ships, which is what you usually see.
No, it's like when you select
the flags.
When you select a ship, it's got the flag, it's got the official military jet name, because these are all based on real world jet designs.
Gotcha.
And then also it demonstrates on like whatever player side you're playing as, like the weapons it has, and like a visual demonstration, so you kind of get a sense of how they look, how much of the screen they're going to cover.
Oh, that's nice. I really appreciate when the games do stuff like that.
Oh, I think it's definitely needed for a game like this, because
you can know what you're getting into.
Yeah, it at least gives you a little bit if you know, even though I do think that you will probably have to study like enemy patterns at least a bit before you can kind of get comfortable with like selecting which ship you want to use. Yeah, J37. Best beginner ship to get a clear of this game with. Highly recommended.
This game's ahead of its time. I mean, showing you all the stuff the ships can do, and like I also was playing Quadrius recently, and on the ship select screen and that, they don't show you the element shots.
Oh man.
Which is really what you want to know, but it just shows you the rapid shots. Like,
oh, that's
I want to see those element shots.
So you basically don't know like what they do until you're actually playing it or doing like a practice mode.
Exactly, but so it's good to know what you're getting into, definitely.
Indeed.
So Moss, take note. You still got some work to do there. I don't know. No, Claudius is awesome, but yeah, that was cool. So what else should we take a look at here? We got some other videos that you had in mind.
Indeed.
What do you got in mind?
So I've also got a F16 AFI 1.5 mil clear that I just got yesterday. Shoutouts to me.
Shoutouts to you.
I also have a PB run using the auto ship, which is the A10A, very similar to Valgariga's Grasshopper design, as well as 2 strats for the F117A Blackbird ship for just round 8, and Concorde itself, but I think I want to keep those 2 for the end. So it's mainly up to if you want to see me using a similar spread ship with like a firebomb, or if you want to see low shot width but by using a straightforward Vulcan.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a quick look at just how those weapons look.
Sure.
Maybe just for a minute each or something like that. I don't know. I'm at 710 on the F16 AFI video.
Okay.
We'll just watch like a minute or 2 and observe. Let me know when you're ready.
Sure.
If you can get there.
Actually, wouldn't it be better just to do like 719 or 720 because that's right when the next stage starts.
All right, 720 it is.
Okay. Okay. I am ready whenever you are.
All right then. 3, 2, 1, go. So you say the main difference here is the bomb or the missile?
Okay. The primary shot in this case is the 5-way, which is actually just 4 shots spreading out, but still pretty powerful. The secondary shot is this kind of fire bomb, which you have like a little reticle like a few feet away from you, and when you launch your secondary shot bomb, it launches like a fire arc slightly upwards and a little bit to the right.
That looks pretty cool. Now,
even though I do like how the weapon looks, there are some problems with its deployment, namely that recharge time it takes a while for it to recharge, which can be kind of bad if you're in close corners with like a lot of secondary shot enemies. I think you'll even get to see a case of that in the stage.
It feels like it's, it looks like it's pretty powerful. Because it seems to like kind of hit like per frame, I guess.
Huh.
When you're
that
throwing
makes sense.
it down.
Yeah, but like you can see here, it takes way too long to destroy that tank formation down there. So it's like I'm forced to skip a bunch of prisoners instead of taking a hit.
How's the hitbox in this one? Smaller or bigger?
Hitbox is actually maybe a little smaller, I'd say.
So with a slightly harder to use missile, it's like have a slightly smaller hitbox, I guess. Maybe they're
it's just part of the ship design where you can see that if you compare it to other like ships in that same category for primary shot, like overall the main body section is just smaller than the other two, like that 14D. You basically use the main body as like kind of an estimation of what your hitbox is going to be.
So are you like preemptively throwing down the bombs to like where you know the targets are going to come? Sometimes?
Yes, there are some stages where I basically have to do that.
Because it looks like you can do that.
I also do it here because I wasn't sure like if I was going to get them out in time for like the recharge. I think there might even be some parts where it's like it's a little dicey. Yeah, probably right here. It's a lot of weaving back and forth. You can almost take a hit. Yeah, that was really risky right there. Now that I look back on it. Because one of those like turrets there could just easily gone back to like a straightforward position, just hit me.
Red alert. Alright, we'll take a look at the boss here and then move on, I guess.
Sure. I mean, with this ship, I don't know if there's like really too much strategy I need to explain on. Although if you want to see like the blow up in stage 7 and want to see me explain that, I can also do that as well.
I wouldn't mind, I guess.
Because this run is actually pretty good up until that part, and then oh man, the secondary bomb just did not want to work in my favor for that stage.
Oh, where you lost all your armor, you're saying?
Yeah, like when I go into stage 7 on this run, like I had basically taken a no miss up to that point, and then I lost like 3 armor pieces in that stage alone because secondary bomb just didn't want to destroy stuff in time.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a look at that just to see how it went bad, I guess. Like on this episode of STG, how shit went bad.
I think it's kind of important anyways, because it's like I remember a while back on Shooting Exchange, someone asked me like, what's the easiest ships to get in this game, because he felt overwhelmed by the amount of choices. So originally I recommend like another ship for him, but because of said hitbox problems that ship, I was kind of reevaluating my decision for that. Just kind of trying to show like something else that could be used as like a secondary beginner option.
Cool. All right, so where's that part you want to go to?
Okay, so let's just say 26 minutes in. That's like after the first turret section of stage 7.
Okay. I'm there.
Actually, scratch that. Let's just do 27.
All right.
Okay, ready.
All right. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so at this point in the run, I was feeling pretty good. It's like no damage yet, but I had a previous blow up in this stage before, so I was hoping that wouldn't happen again. And I'll explain like why you take damage at these parts. So you got these like little helicopters, or sorry, planes here. Try to go all the way to the right, and then I got boxed in because for whatever reason, my edge of the wingtip just got hit by that turret right there.
Oh, I missed where you got hit there.
It was
just something barely got you though.
Yeah, I was on the left wingtip as I was going like down diagonal.
Oh, damn.
Because basically,
but you couldn't quite destroy those, huh?
The firebomb, like you need like at least 3 or 4 shots of it to like kill one of those like huge 4 turrets, and I think I only got like 2 or 3 of those off.
Oh damn! Nice dodge there.
Oh man, yeah, I couldn't believe I got through that. Like, I was like, how the hell did I not take a hit? Okay, this part is not too bad, but coming up, I think there's something I do wrong with my positioning. Okay, no, I didn't. That was a different run. Oh, I think I realize. So this formation right here is also very tricky to come without damage. Right here, got clipped on the left, and then I was like, come on, cleared away, and then it wouldn't.
Oh shit. When things go just fucking bad.
When you fuck
Episode
up.
1, 2.
And that's all the damage I take for this run.
Or no, what Dumbledore said, when bad things happen in good airplanes.
But yeah, that power alone is like worth studying just before you hit the carpet area at this stage, because optimally you want, if you have like a Vulcan, you should be able to take the first ground turret up without taking damage from the helicopters. Then you go over to the right, take out the other ground turret, and then that should give you enough room to destroy one of the big turrets on the right, and possibly left if you have enough time.
Oh shit, it's the last boss again. Point blank that Bluey. Bluey!
I skipped that turret there because I didn't have enough time to get back to it. But I can't do anything.
Codename Bluey, real name Huey.
Oh man.
Like this boss just looks pissed. It looks like he's got like angry eyebrows or something.
Yeah.
He like a dog. Pissed.
He's out for blood.
Using his most powerful attack on you. That's all he's got.
Yep.
Oh man, it's like sideways. That's badass.
Yep. These guys come in like a drive-by shooting. It's ridiculous.
Oh wait, that's not the last boss. Oops.
That's the Harrier family, the second to last boss.
Gotcha. Alright, wanna keep watching this or move on, or?
I'm good.
Are you gonna take some more hits?
No, I don't take any more hits in this run.
Yeah.
The small
Oh, the
hitbox.
dodges.
Small hitbox lets you. Oh yeah, and there's this other cool strategy you do. You point blank that right side, then to the left. Really kills them before they can get any spreads off, but still gotta dodge this one.
We're listening to this remix that's just like the voice saying F, A, F. Pretty
So
good.
cute.
Well, it's funny we're like talking about like those like parody like when things go bad. Like that was actually part of like 90s pop culture television, wasn't it?
Dude,
Because like there was like used to be those shows where it was like the actual shows were like when people like one example is like people like getting like grabbed by like zoo animals and just be like a show just dedicated to that, and that was like a 90s show, I think. I forget the exact name of it, but
I kind of know what you're talking about. I
shit
didn't
like
realize that
that.
was a 90s thing.
I mean, I'm assuming it was probably around there, but I don't know. That's just what it made me think of.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's like stuff like that anymore.
Oh, don't.
Well, I'm on YouTube, but I mean,
Things have changed. For sure.
yeah.
Who is the
It's like, oh, she just got, had to get stitches and whatnot, but she'll be okay. It's like a monkey just like grabs like some woman by the hair or something like that.
Oh man.
People know. I'm sure some people know what I'm talking about, even if I don't know what I'm talking about. Round 8 clear.
Oh. Yeah, so
stuff.
you could see from that, just that small hitbox is really wondrous for dealing with his spread.
Nice.
And that's basically what I wanted to show from that.
Okay.
Now, let's see. Wow.
When helicopters attack.
Let's see. So from the auto run, I think I mentioned like footage from that one is you can select any of these stages, but it's like 3, 4, 7, and 8. Like, and it's showing off the stress of that section would be cool.
Now, let's just go to the end because that's like the most intense part. So I don't know.
Sure.
28 minutes or something. I don't know.
Okay, let me get that replay up. 1 sec.
The FAA10 or A10A.
Yeah, the
I think
8.
that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the one that looks like Garega's grasshopper ship.
Nice. For all the Garega boys out there.
Shoutouts.
For all those guys named Greg.
You will be remembered. Don't worry. Okay, so timestamp for beginning of the stage is 25:43.
Alright.
So just a little bit of preference. This ship right here, the A10A, this is a 2cc run because he's not able to get it clear. It just kept eating shit at stage 8. So this is like the best I could get where I die and then I don't take any more deaths upon like my reemergence on the second credit. But basically, you just have to be very aware that your primary shot just sucks. It has no range at all besides the front of your ship. An important keynote is to consider like the Zako helicopter formations of stage 3 and 4. Just making sure that you hit every helicopter as much as you can. And also making sure that for the stage 4 boss, you do not get trapped, and either you can figure out a way to destroy the front part so that you can access the flashing red part in the middle of the power base, or just avoiding it altogether and just losing that like 20,000 points.
Okay, yeah, you were talking about that boss earlier.
Yep. Very nasty boss on like these type of shots or shot types.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll count us down.
Sure.
3, 2, 1, go.
So yeah, at this point of the run, I am hanging on for dear life because I took a few too many hits early on.
When's you gonna die?
Not until stage 8. This part actually executes pretty well. Got lucky there. Just
So what's the good thing about this ship?
it's not really like good per se, but I would just say like at least the hitbox in this one is like not that bad compared to other bigger ships. But in general, because of the way the shot type is, like low power, low spread, what if it's more, you definitely wouldn't be playing this ship unless you're like more experienced with this game already.
I see. So it's like challenge ships and whatnot, essentially.
Kind of, yeah. Just
Point of view like that.
Harder to use, basically. Or is like, you just want to mess around with it, I guess.
Yeah.
I just think the spread shots are just, the primary shot is just too good to like pass them up if you're going for like score related challenges.
Right.
That. Oh man.
I like the little sparks you can see on your secondary fire on the ground. It's nice feedback.
Yeah.
But like where you're actually aiming.
Yeah, it's a great indicator to just like making sure you're doing damage.
Oh, you also have a reticle here though too. I didn't notice. Yeah. Do all the ships have a reticle?
Yeah, they do. Like,
okay.
For the secondary shot, Vulcan has one. The bomb type we saw earlier did have one in front of it. And for the automatic STG missiles, there's one that just locks on to the closest ground target in front of you.
I see.
Haven't really messed around with that type yet, though, because it just seems a little finicky, especially if you have like a lot of secondary ground type targets.
Sounds interesting, though, at least to mess around with.
Yeah, I'll probably try to get clear of at least one of those.
Satellites, always a great thing to blow up.
Gotta destroy their telecommunications. Okay, so I think I do set up the... No, I don't, actually. This is before I devise that strat. So that's what you're supposed to do if you accidentally mess up and don't hit that ground turret on the left. And you can't kill the rightmost 4-shot turret on the right. Right here, basically.
Damn.
After that first one, that's when you go to the left, because you go over too early, the missiles will actually like curve over and then hit your ship.
That looked tricky. And they like laid out the carpet on this stage. See that big brown carpet.
Yep. Welcome to my home.
It's their home. It's a nice, like, elegant design. Oh, now they got like this nice little like shrubberies and courtyards going on and whatnot.
Hey,
it is their home.
Yeah. Hey.
Welcome to my home. Welcome to your doom.
Welcome to the world of Dungeons and Dragons. Thankfully.
Seems like the ship's kind of as fast too, though.
Yeah, it's like got a very similar speed rating to the J37. It's like almost maxed out. That's the other reason why you would use it.
Yeah, the macro dodging seems to be pretty important in the game.
Oh, I definitely agree. It's probably the most important ingredient along with just knowing how to misdirect. Last stage, boys.
And they get right in front of you there before you take them out. Kind of intense.
Yeah. Thankfully, like you can at least just because of this shot does have like a bit of adjustable like power when you have higher auto fire rate. You can still kill these like for the most part. It's just oh man, this formation here. That guy did not want to die. The lone bullet.
Oh, nice. That screen explosion when you come back.
That's the only type of smart bomb you'll ever get in this game is if you put in another coin.
Gotta buy those bombs. Those smart bombs. How smart is this, though? It's a rhetorical question. This part's great.
Yeah, just all these guys coming down.
Oh, you can like push them around by shooting them. That's pretty good.
Did I really do that?
I think so.
Huh.
Like you shot that one and like it stayed back and then you kind of moved through.
Oh, you mean the one that releases like the 4 missiles? Because that one does it every time, where it waits a moment, releases the, then
really?
comes
Okay.
down.
You just happen to be shooting it at that time,
Yep.
I think.
I don't think you can actually destroy them.
Okay. Whoa!
So yeah, this boss will
Close call
take
there.
longer with this type of shot. And you have to dodge like multiple of these.
See, this is like the old school bullet hell when you just like you only have one place to go and you better be there.
Exactly.
It's basically
That is totally it.
like you have no other option but to be in the right place there. Except it's just on a larger scale here. It's really the only difference.
Exactly. And also because
Bullet hell.
that's final
All
boss.
shmups are bullet hells now.
Oh man. Can't wait for my Gradius bullet hell.
that already happened with Gradius 5. If you watched
Sure.
Loop 10.
Yeah, I did see that. There's also Gradius Rebirth like Loop 255.
Oh yeah, that gets crazy too. Nice. Bullet heck, yeah. Alright, so then you have some A strat video, or you may have 2 of those.
Yes,
so.
let's start with the round 8 strat. That one will play up until 135, and then we switch to the King Concorde strat.
Okay, which video am I looking at here? I'm actually not. I don't think I have this one.
Oh,
The FA? Oh.
FA.
Oh, okay.
F17A. Let me just put them in order here. And then
Okay, yeah, thanks.
I will put this one right after it.
Thanks.
There you go.
Okay, thanks. So we said, what was the timestamp?
Oh, you just started 0, but we're ending at 135 at the video.
Okay, alright. So yeah, this is the F117A. And then what are we going to be looking at here?
So I basically just decided that since I couldn't get a complete run of this in time, I was just going to showcase like the last stage and final boss strats, because that is by far the toughest part of clearing this game with the ship.
I see.
Because this ship has like a firebomb, but you can actually deploy it twice, which is really nice for stage 7. Actually makes that easier compared to like other types of ships. But for round 8, since you don't get to rely on that and you have horrible shot power, I figured I might as well make a video just to showcase that, especially because it's very easy to get hit. So I had to figure out a strategy of avoiding certain planes and just keeping my route clear.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. I'll count us in.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. The music track is clapping right now for that stage completion.
Oh, great. Nice. Okay, there we go. So.
Slower, I can tell.
Yeah. Really slow. Come up here. I decided to go earlier there. Destroyed this one.
The jukes.
I don't even know how he managed to squeeze for that. It's just crazy.
Almost bought back the farm. Bought back the farm back there.
Squeeze for there. Down diagonal there. And I just let that one go off because there's no way I'm gonna kill it in time.
Yeah, this is pretty intense for like basically the end of your run.
Yeah, very much so. Like, especially the ship, most dangerous part of this game.
Maybe like with those ships colliding into each other, it was like a thing where like the pilot just kind of jumped out and they like try to throw it at you.
Or maybe it's because you get like additional UN support.
Oh.
So apparently,
Yeah,
like, you're working with the UN to destroy this dictator. Okay.
Shout out to my YouTube recommendations.
Okay, now we'll finally end it with the King Concorde strat, which is the final boss of the ship.
So same ship. All right, the final boss. Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Very ridiculous how much damage this thing needs to take.
So can you destroy those the fast 4 falling down missiles?
Yes, you can, but it's just I usually don't because they just take a lot of hits.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, this guy takes a lot of punishment, this ship. As far as I can call, like, that strategy I'm doing where I'm just juking it kind of to the side and then quickly going back over to another direction is probably the best way to avoid damage for such a long haul battle like this. Sorry, no bonus.
Sorry.
And yeah, that's basically it.
Good stuff.
I think I've covered a lot of the points I want to make. If you guys want additional reference video, Mikado has a few clear videos from when they were like showing this case like about a game about like 2 years back. And there's like a few different clears on there. And I think there's also one hilarious blow up that they have on their YouTube channel where it's got like a semi-auto ship and the guy just completely tanks it in the last stage, especially on the final boss, right as it's about to be destroyed.
Oh man.
The hosts just go crazy.
This was like a recent performance, or
No, this is like 2 years ago. Like,
well, that's what I meant. Kind of what I meant. Somewhat recent
I guess.
thing.
I've never seen them
game is
stream
old.
it on their channel.
Interesting.
Because I know they stream like select games on their Twitch from time to time. And I know they still have this game at their game center.
So what's with the Firebird and the logo? Like, is that just supposed to be cool, or
probably
is
just
there
like
anything-
probably just a carryover of like their military aesthetic, where it's like, you know, pilots back in the day used to love to paint their aircraft with like some sort of intimidating figure.
Oh, okay.
That's my best guess, at
Thanks.
least.
It's a good theory. I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, so I think, doesn't Top Gun also have something similar where it's like got the hothead brash personality, like, yeah, this is my ship.
As far as like what they had on their like decals and stuff,
I think so, yeah.
I think I remember some stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a thing, but yeah, it's a good theory. But it's not like we see like a fire dragon power up or anything like that. That's all I was kind of getting
No,
at.
this is not Trigun.
Yeah, looks like the Trigun dragon, or maybe like a boss from. It's the boss.
It's the Gradius
that
2 boss.
The Gradius 2 or Gradius 3 Firebird boss. I think he's in both. Yeah, he's in both. Fire Dragon, I don't know, Bird Dragon, whatever.
I just call him like the Firebird.
Yeah. But yeah, good stuff with Fighter and Attacker. This I think is a nice one to check out, just because no one knows about it really.
No.
And, you know, it's like pretty cool shmup, and it has the qualities of, you know, being worthy of attention, especially with the points on the techno soundtrack, and then that kind of leading into the trend of Namco's techno soundtracks in general, which are pretty much fondly regarded by a lot of people.
Indeed.
It's crazy that it started with you know, the shmup, but it was just to, you know, kind of just stay with the modern times. You know, had to evolve.
Yeah.
With the modern time, with the modern times, stay hip with the kids and all that.
Yeah, as far as I see it, it's like, it's basically a bridging of two eras, like between the old, like, sort of way of making your like shmups feel with like ship design and stuff and military aesthetic, but then also incorporating like newer elements. Because you have to remember too, like after this, I think this is like their last original like 2D STG with like original IP. Because after this, it's just like Ambulance Ray, which I don't really like. It's just a pre-rendered game that is very funky. And then we have like Galaga arrangement, Xevious arrangement, and some like Tekken shooting game. That's basically it.
Yeah. Well, Xevious arrangement is really good.
It is.
I will attest to this. But yeah, it's kind of like, you think that like helped contribute to its cult status, just the fact that it was one of the last of its kind, I guess, from Namco.
Probably, because I feel even more so now they've been playing their games for like a while. Like, it's kind of crazy, like how much like some of their games have been overlooked, especially here in the West.
Yeah.
Like, every time I think about like some of those titles that came out like in 1988, it's like, man, they really could have like followed up on this. It would have been like pretty awesome, but fortunately, because a lot of those games they made at the time are like more experimental, or since they just didn't have mass market appeal. And unfortunately, this game like kind of fell to the same fate, especially in the West, where it's just woefully undermarketed at the time for the 3D craze instead.
Right. Well, Street Fighter 2 didn't have techno, so I mean, got him there. And then Tekken, I mean, you know, Tekken remained relevant.
Yeah, that's true.
So at least, like, you know, the game had, yeah, it definitely, it has pretty, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty strong legacy.
Very true. Besides, like, You do have a lot of memorable soundtracks from that era as well. Even after SOA left mid 90s to go to Arika at the time. Plus, I always thought it was cool that they actually went forth and made like completely remixed the entire soundtrack for like 2014, 2015 audiences. Like, how many games can attest to that?
Yeah, I've been playing I think I got through the remix soundtrack at least a full time once here on the show today, and it's pretty good. I liked it quite a bit. Well, I mean, it was a nice upgrade, a faithful upgrade to the original music. That's always kind of nice to hear.
Yeah.
Just kind of brings me back to, I don't know, like watching like the Mortal Kombat movie or something with the Mortal Kombat theme. Yeah, all those fucking like orchestral hits in like techno music is just, it just kind of just is like the 90s.
Yeah.
Good times though. Alright,
Very
well,
true.
I think that's about going to wrap it up for this episode, but yeah, it was a pleasure to cover it and have you bring on your replays. Nice job on those, by the way.
Thank you.
It's fun to watch. And I hope people who do see this episode maybe try the game out. Just load up that MAME. No shame in MAME and try it out. Or, you know, find an arcade board somewhere in your local bowling alley.
Honestly, I'd say like
in a corner, in a damp corner, with a shitty joystick.
Classic.
And like, you can only move left, up, and down, but you can't move right. So you gotta like, just make sure you never move left, or move left as little as possible, so that you can play as long as you can actually like play the game a bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to even doing like a round table, like just scoring strats and people get into it at some point. There's got to be someone out there.
Well, all right, so yeah, this is the call for all those fighter and attacker enthusiasts out there who have been desperately searching for a YouTube video of people talking about it. Just hit us up on Twitter. So yeah, sounds good. Alright, well, that's going to do it for us today. Hope you guys have a good rest of the weekend, and hopefully we'll be back next week with another episode. In any case, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Alright, see you guys later.
Don't forget to attack when you fight.